Hello everyone and welcome back to our last day of Road to TCG Worlds 2016 featuring Houndoom, Shaman, Jirachi and Bunnelby, sorry, I forgot him. Like I promised, Fridays will now become Tournament Fridays, where I will join a tournament and show you all games that I managed to play. Now, I'm not promising that I will win every single game, but or every single tournament, but I will feature all the way through. So my opponent is using an old water deck, which is definitely not great to see as we are using Houndoom, but I believe we are going first, so as long as we manage to stop his strategy wherever it may be. Wow, that's a shoulder. I have absolutely no clue what Cloister does. Wow, he has Regice. Okay, Regice is not really a big issue for us, but I'm not gonna complain that we just discarded the Regice. My opponent might not be using any Headringers, or there's also the chance that his deck isn't too competitive, but the fact that he has water Pokemon really puts us in a bind here. Gonna get rid of the Lysander and the Headringer. I really don't think my opponent will be using any EX Pokemon, and I will go for Shaman here because I want to hold on to my Houndooms until I really find out what my opponent is using. I will draw up to 3 cards. The stadium is useful, I guess, and I'm gonna pass for now because I think Lysanders will also be very, very important in this match. Wow, there's a Blastoise, so we are up against a Mega Blastoise potentially, or even regular Blastoise with Regice, Gorbis, okay, so yeah, this is not the most competitive deck, of course, but I mean, I guess this is a good experiment because unless round 2 is better. Wow, so he's using all water Pokemon. Wait, and how did he get an EX with Bridget? Oh, you have the choice. I honestly did not know that. I thought Bridget forced you was just get 3 benched Pokemon, or rather 3 basic Pokemon non-EXs. But apparently I was very wrong. Gonna Lysander up the Blastoise because it's less of a threat and I don't want Glalie attacking at all. I'm gonna try and reuse the Shaman, which I do get heads on. Very nice. I will, however, first thin out my hand in order to get Houndoom out. Or I could also get another Bunnelby out. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Bunnelby route, and I'm gonna leave Houndoom until the end. Because I could potentially also return hammers and things like that in order to remove absolutely every single energy my opponent has. So at this point, I'm just gonna burrow. Now we know he has a lot of energy though, because we did see off of his mulligan he had a Professor's Letter and tons of water energy, so odds of him whiffing energy aren't very likely, although he does right now, so that's pretty good for us. Gonna play the Hex Maniac just in case he's using something weird, although we know he doesn't have Shaman thanks to the previous screen, and that DC in the discard pile is something I really like to see, and a water energy, so 2 pretty great discards. Now I know this is not the most competitive game, I'm still gonna talk through it. If you want to skip to game 2, feel free to do so. Really not a problem. And wow, my opponent top decks the DCE, has a Muscle Band, so he's going to Rapid Spin. At least he doesn't KO the Bunnelby though. Oh wow, we both switch. I wasn't sure how that worked. Okay, not a problem here because I to get rid of the DCE, and I have the Team Flare Grunt to get rid of the active energy. So my opponent, okay, what does Glaly's first attack? He could paralyze me, but I do have the AC. I get rid of a dive ball, which isn't too important, and a Tierno, which at least won't allow him to draw more cards next turn unless he top decks something else. He does top deck a Verse Seeker, so he will use that Tierno. Yeah, there's the Tierno, and there's the Ice Breath, which he does flip heads on. Okay, so we do get another Team Flare Grunt, and I mean, if he keeps on paralyzing us, that's fine, because he's not doing any damage, so it's really not that big of an issue. He does have another Water Energy. There's the Ice Breath. He whiffs, so as long as he doesn't retreat Glalie or power it up, we're okay. I flip Tails on my hammer, unfortunately. I will now bench the Houndoom, and I'm gonna return the Shaman just to get the most mileage out of my supporter. Otherwise I would have discarded the AC with Sycamore. I do get another hammer. Hopefully I get heads. Nope. 2 tails. I do get the third Bunnelby, which is great to see, and I'm able to borrow 2 more cards from my opponent. Now I'm starting to realize timer is a thing, so I have to play a bit faster in order for this video not to be 1 hour long. And wow, he has the TC and the Muscle Band. So he goes for the instant freeze, 170 damage. How did it do that much? Oh, because we have the same number of cards. Wow. That's very scary. That is seriously very scary. Now I'm in a lot of trouble, I'm not gonna lie. He can't get KOs on Houndoom. I can, however, prevent some damage, I guess. And I can Ace Trainer his hand away, which will refill his deck a bit. But fortunately I do get the Enhanced Hammer. Not gonna waste the Super Scoop Up just yet. I'm really hoping I can remove the energy, or rather he whiffs an energy to attack next turn. There's an energy, which is great, and he would need another DC, which we know there's 3 of them already in the discard pile, and I hit 2 Water Energy. There's 2, 3, yep. He gets a Tierno, draws cards, he gets another Water, which is fine by me. I have no idea how many he plays, but he flips Tails, fortunately, so I'm gonna go for a Team Flare Grunt, of course. Or I could Lysander, actually. I think Lysandering the Blastoise is a lot better. Or I'm gonna first Team Flare Grunt, and then I'm going to Lysander. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And here I'm just gonna borrow twice more. I could consider using Rototiller and in the future, like in the near future, to make sure I recover my Verse Seekers and all of that. He does have another energy, but he flips Tails. Now I'm definitely going to Lysander the Blastoise, and I'm going to return 2 Verse Seekers instead of discarding 2 cards from my opponent. Gonna Rototiller. I could go 1-on-1, I guess. There's 1, 2, yeah, there's 3 Verse Seekers, so I'm gonna go for the 2 Verse Seekers. There's really no hurry here. Rototiller, another Verse Seeker. Yep, no need to return the supporters because with Verse Seeker I can return them myself. Now, if he manages to find his last DCE, we could be in a bit of trouble, but no. He attaches a Water Energy. Now, I definitely want to prevent this Bunnelby from getting KO'd, but I flipped tails 4 times now. Both crushing hammers and both super scoop ups. Will I final flip a heads? Okay. At least I flip heads with that. I will be able to get rid of 1 more card from my opponent's deck, which will be a water energy. Perfect. I will get a water for my next Bunnelby, and I'm gonna borrow twice right now. There's a stadium, not really too relevant, and there's a basic Pokemon, not relevant either. Does he have an energy? He does, unfortunately. So Glalie is probably coming back up. Yep. Gonna promote my Bunnelby, and I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'm gonna Team Fleur Grunt 1 energy. I'm guessing he grabbed an energy of the prices. Gonna Team Fleur Grunt the energy, and then I'm going to Lysander that Shelder. There's the Team Fleur Grunt. Man, my opponent runs a lot of energy. I'm gonna count them right now. 1, 2, 3 in play. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 basic energy so far. Burrow eliminates a Bridget, and Burrow eliminates a Fisherman. Wow, that's very important. If he does have a Versiker, I'm in a lot of trouble, but wow, he decides to bench Regice. So definitely going to bring Regice up. Or Shelter. No, yeah, definitely Regice. I'm going to bench the other Shaman. Gonna draw a few more cards, try to get some more things going. I will return the Bunnelbys and the Fire Energies, because I want to use those instead of Houndoom to attack. Although it is annoying to click Burrow twice. And I'm really running out of time here. So this is going to be a very long video, guys. I had not realized this. I was also hoping to go to bed early, but I think that's not happening. He benches another basic. He plays a Professor's Letter. He gets another 2 energy, so wow. My opponent just plays so many energy. So many energy. That's the one thing you don't want to face with this deck. All those energies. But at least I do get a Team Fleur Grunt on 1 of his energy. I don't know how many he has potentially left. But with the Verse Seekers we have left. Wow, another energy. With the Verse Seekers we have left, it should be enough to prevent my opponent from winning at all. He's just going all out, trying to thin out his deck. That's 5 energy in play. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 basic energy. Okay, there's the victory, finally. Okay, so the next round I probably won't even have to stop the video. Wow, I do. So I'll be back in 1 second, guys. Alright guys, we are back, and as you can see, we weren't even the last to finish. There was another battle, and now we're up against an opponent, Sinsajo 18, with a Darkness Psychic Fairy Dragon deck. I really have no idea what to expect from him, but it sounds like he's going to require a lot of setup, just based on the energy types he's using. So I'm thinking of the Vile Pokemon of such types, and our Assault Vests are probably going to be very important, along with the Headringers. But since he will require a lot of setup, we might have a lot of maneuverability. Did I say that right? Maneuverability in terms of removing energy and playing with our Lysanders and things like that, if we do draw them though. My opponent does get a card off of his mulligan, which was a basic Pokemon, and it's actually Noivern Cernias Weavile. So perhaps not another too serious deck, and nothing on his side of the field really threatens us to get rid of basic energy right away, which is obviously great. And I might just go for shaming here and hold on onto my crushing hammer for next turn. I mean, we can't attack, so there's no need to get the energy right away. And yeah, we do get some pretty useful cards right now, which I would not like to get rid of just yet. Oh wow, did I choose my own deck? Did I really choose my own deck? I did, didn't I? Okay, gonna discard the birch anyways. Oh no, I did choose my opponent's deck. Perfect. I'm gonna try and super scoop up. Nope. So I'm gonna pass. We have 3 pretty important cards. Definitely not cards I wanted to see on my turn 1, where I had the opportunity to Sycamore. But I mean, that pretty much guarantees we will be able to remove an energy if we want to. There's a basic darkness. He must be running double dragon energy, and he just tackles. So perhaps not the most competitive match either. I do flip tails. So the question here is, do I want to remove the energy? Okay, I'm gonna go for another shaman with that Ultra Ball top deck. The full art that I'm giving away, and hopefully I get an energy this time around so that I can use the Tinfleur Grunt. Unfortunately I do not, and now I'm not sure I even want to play the Sycamore because I don't want to get rid of 2 Verse Seekers. So gonna go with the birch. I do flip heads, but still no energy. So this is really delaying us. Really delaying us. He does evolve into this Noivern, so perhaps it's Noivern Break, but I think as long as we Lysander up the Cernias, we should be okay here, even if we don't get an energy anytime soon. He will tuning, meaning he will draw 7 more cards. Or rather, not 7 more cards, but 7 cards. I will bring up the Cernias, and there's not much else I can do other than pass my turn. We're halfway through a deck and still no energy, unfortunately. My opponent does draw, but really, as long as we keep that Cernias up, we will eventually get an energy and we will eventually deck him out. But this is just a bit more complicated than I would like it to be. Miss Mages has a poke power that's like N, but just for me. And I like seeing that Tierno. I like seeing him draw more cards. I don't like seeing that energy, so I think I'll be forced to use a Tinfleur Grunt right now. And that Evosoda could have gone for a Noivern Break, if I'm not mistaken. Weavile isn't too threatening either, and wow, I don't take another Verse Seeker. So it's gonna be a while before I am able to attack with anything really. I will, however, get rid of the Hex Maniac and the Sycamore, and thin my deck by another card through the Houndoom. I don't think Jirachi will be important, and I'm just gonna pass my turn. See what my opponent does now. Yeah, this is definitely very lacking in terms of competitiveness. So maybe I will scrap Tournament Fridays, because I definitely expected to face tougher opponents. Not to discredit my opponents, but the decks they're using are definitely not serious, especially the previous one. And he's really thinking things through, but I mean, if we had an energy on Houndoom, this game would be over far far quicker than it is right now. He does go for a Steven, which will guarantee him an energy, and I think I'm just gonna go for a Sycamore. I'm not gonna Team Flare Grunt or anything like that. Just gonna go for the Sycamore. There's an energy. Doesn't grab a supporter, and he doesn't. Oh, maybe he attached to Noivern. I didn't really pay attention, but he went for a fairy energy, didn't he? Anyways, I'm gonna Sycamore. I really want to see a fire energy right now. There it is, finally. And I'm just gonna Melting Horn. I think I saw an energy. I saw a Professor's Letter as well, which is great for us in order to get that deck out and prevent him from retreating or anything like that. We might potentially hit his switching cards as well. He goes for a Team Flare Grunt himself and decides to attach the fairy energy. So we're not at risk of him attacking, but he could potentially retreat next turn into Noivern, which does 120 damage, which is a lot. And he's not running Double Dragon energy. And what is he thinking so much about? Just pass your turn, man. Just pass your turn. Please play more quickly. And finally he passes. Just the fire energy, which I will return. And I really think I'm just gonna Sycamore once again. I will bench the Bunnelby, I guess. And I guess I'll first try to draw with Shaman. Nope. So I'm just gonna go for a Sycamore. I want that fire energy to keep on removing my opponent's cards from his deck. I don't think he'll be able to go through 2 Houndooms, let alone 3. So I'm able to discard the fairy energy once more, and I will be able to Melting Horn with 2 more energies, which is obviously pretty amazing for us. That was a very lucky discard. Now let's see. He has another energy. Probably can't do too much else. Yep, he just passes. Not gonna complain about that. Now I could potentially Lysander up something, but if he retreats, he retreats. He deals 120 damage, and I just bring the Cernias back up. I did just discard 1 more energy, so there's a ton of energy in his discard pile. I really hope he retreats, because he will even discard another energy with Noivern, so I don't see any possible scenario where we do not win this game. He might decide not to retreat, which would be pretty surprising given what my opponent has shown so far, or his style of play and his deck, and probably his beginner level. But hey, props to him if he doesn't retreat and just tries to keep on trucking with Cernias. Wow, he decides not to retreat. Okay, so we do top deck a Team Flare Grunt. I was going to use a Lysander this time around onto Mischievous, but I will simply Melting Horn, another energy. So wow, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 basic energy. So we face 2 decks with a ton of energy. A ton of energy. Huh. And it's usually the beginner players who don't realize that they're about to lose, or that they have no way to win, and they end up playing until the very last minute, which is kind of similar to what my opponent did last time around. He is able to attack with Noivern once, but I can simply Lysander up the Cernias and use Melting Horn once more. I know this is not the most exciting games to look at, but this is a viable strategy. and it is something you should be prepared for and know how to play against, most importantly, because I've seen so many players down here, like the guy who went undefeated at the tournament went undefeated because players would just play normally against him, and they would sycamore and they would try and do their whatever regular stuff they do, but they, I don't know, they simply didn't realize that they were running themselves out of resources to even deal any damage to Houndoom. So in the end he got, I believe he decked out every single person in Swiss rounds, and he won 2-0 his first 2 games in top cut. So wow, we see even more basic energy, and my opponent is going to draw more cards through the tuning attack, which is perfectly fine by me. That saves us a turn from using Melting Horn. If he gets another energy, I mean, we might flip heads here. We do. Gonna remove the darkness, but even if he got a KO, I mean, there's really not much we do fear at this time. He could potentially have a double dragon energy right now, and I can't believe we've only seen 2 energy total out of the 6 we play, so maybe a lot of them are priced. I'm gonna check right now. Gonna use a Ultra Ball, discard Jirachi, and discard Zerozic because he's clearly not... Oh, come on, PTCGO. He is clearly not using any special energy. We would have seen them by now. Or any other relevant tool cards, and wow. Great time for the game to freeze. Finally there's the Ultra Ball, so I'm gonna click show all cards, and 1, 2, yeah, so 2 energy are priced. Okay, I'm gonna try and save the Houndoom, I guess. Right, to flip tails. No reason to make him fill up his hand once again, so I'm just gonna Melting Horn. If he KOs Houndoom, that's another energy in the discard pile, which I won't mind. The next Houndoom comes up, and he can definitely take at least, or he can take at least 1 hit, which should mean deck out for my opponent, because he won't even be close enough to win on prizes. I mean, he would need 2 straight Lysanders and then 2 energy onto Shamans to have a shot at winning this game. So this Melting Horn should be enough. Wow, and we got rid of 2 more energy, so my opponent plays almost 20 basic energy. Almost 20 basic energy. Yeah, he doesn't have enough turns unless he has a double Lysander, which he doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and the 2 in play, 22 basic energy. So yeah, this game is as good as done. My opponent really should have conceded quite a while ago, but things like that happen. Hopefully in the final we will face a much more challenging deck. My opponent is idle. He will get a last Earth Slash off. He might even get down to 2 prizes, and that's his 23rd basic energy if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna Melting Horn. We see another energy, so 24 basic energy. 24, guys. I don't think even in my non-playing times, like non-competitive days when I was 11 or 12 years old, I don't think I even used 24 energies in a deck back then. He does get his KO, which he was really stubborn about. I could play the Judge to make this game longer, but there's no need. I'm just gonna end my turn and take my victory here. So hopefully next round is ready. If not, I'm gonna cut the video for 1 second. Okay, there it is. So gonna let the timer run down without cutting the video. We sometimes do lose quality in the video if I do that, because I then have to join the files and render them, and it's a whole big process. Whereas if I record everything in a row, it's really not that the quality is definitely a bit better. So yeah, extra long video for you guys this time around. If you, I don't know, maybe some of you guys just want to watch the final to see if it's a worthy game, I guess I will put some annotations during the video to let you guys know that the first two games are definitely far from being the most competitive decks from our opponent's side, but hopefully the final will prove to be a challenge. If not, let me see what we will win. We will win 3 booster packs. We are guaranteed at least 2 right now. And are these tradable? I'm not entirely sure. If they are, I wouldn't mind giving them away. And we're up against a Grass, Psychic, Colorless, but we didn't see, or Grass, Psychic, Lightning, sorry. We didn't see Colorless, so is my opponent not running Shaman? Is this deck once again not very competitive? Now our hand could definitely improve through Shaman, but having 3 hammers in our starting hand is never good, because if you go first you cannot use them effectively. It is Night March though. It is Night March without Shaman. So this is going to be very tough. I definitely should keep the Enhanced Hammer, but I can't pull off 2 Shamans here. But this is going to be really tough. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this is a good matchup. It's all gonna depend on if he draws some good cards off of his unknowns, because we know he's not running Shaman. Now I really do need energy next turn though. I cannot lose a beat against this deck. And our Assault Vests are going to be huge, huge, absolutely huge onto Houndoom. So those are the priorities, energy and the Assault Vests. Just gonna pass my turn. Didn't get either, but we do have a next turn where we could potentially even ace Trainer if he gets a knockout on Bunnelby and remove a DCE. Which, seeing how he's not running any metal Pokemon or water, that means no Milotic, and wow, it's Vespiquen, yeah. No Milotic and no Bronzong, so he's limited to 1 energy attachment per turn and 4 double colorless energies and no more. So we know the Assault Vests are going to prevent damage, make our Houndooms live 2 turns instead of just 1, and our Enhanced Hammers might make him with some important, very important turns. Now he does get rid of 3 Night Marchers, 1 Pumpkaboo and 2 Lampents though. So 1 Lampent is definitely priced because we just saw another one get discarded. Oh no, never mind. So either 2 Lampents are priced or my opponent misplayed that pretty badly. Because you always want to get rid of the Lampents first. There's no need to get rid of Pumpkaboo unless you're going to pull off a weird Buddy Buddy Rescue or Revive play. But we see he's not doing that. And wow, he actually attaches a basic Psychic Energy. So we're gonna try and remove that with our Crushing Hammer. And yeah, the game is lagging so much right now. We do flip tails, so we are forced to Birch here. If we flip tails, things could get very complicated. Yep, we do flip tails. Fortunately, we can potentially get a Shaman, and we do get rid of the energy. So I'm gonna go grab the Shaman. If we get an energy, we should be in a pretty great position. If we don't, things are going to get very complicated very fast, because the Shamans are definitely Lysander targets for my opponent. Thankfully, we do get the Fire Energy, and we do get a lot of draw cards for next turn, so we should be okay in keeping up the discarding pressure. Let's see what my opponent does. There's also the fact that every time we discard some Pokemon, we are powering up my opponent's attacks in Vespiquen and Pumpkaboo. But as you can see, my opponent also needs to thin out his deck, which makes our decking job even easier. Now he really needs to see a double colorless energy at this point. I mean, he has 20 cards left in his deck, so that Bunnelby is definitely going down. That means we can ace trainer him. Wow, he attaches a basic energy, so does just not have? Does he simply not have DCEs? I mean, we haven't seen any, we haven't discarded any. There's a roller skates. Let's see that DCE. Nope, a stadium. So, if my opponent doesn't have DCEs, I'm going to be very, very surprised and very disappointed with this tournament Friday. He has 16 cards left. He must run 4 DCEs in that deck. There's no way he doesn't. There's no way he got to the final of a tournament without 4 DCEs in his deck. Wow, another basic psychic. So he definitely doesn't have. So just gonna Sycamore here. Yeah, I'm very confident now that we are going to win. My opponent can't even power up his Pokemon. We do not, and we flip heads. We do not get another energy, but really not an issue. We have the stadium in play, which makes it even harder for Joltik to retreat. We get another energy off of that Burrow, and there's one DC. So okay, at least we know now that my opponent does have DCEs. But we do have 2 enhanced hammers in our hand. He just passes, he tries to buy a turn. So, Super Scoop up, we get head. So we're getting all the luck right now. Absolutely all the luck. Gonna touch the Assault Vest. I'm gonna play the Shaman. I really want to secure energy. We are struggling in that department. There we go. And yeah, I don't think there's a way we lose this deck. I don't think he would be able to draw 6 prizes in time before we deck him. We even hit a Verse Seeker, which is great for us. But yeah, we saw 1 DC. He must have all 4. I mean, they're not that rare. They're not hard to get. Gonna let him get a prize on Bunnelby, I guess. We do have a Super Scoop up. Wow, he just passes. Okay, gonna try and Super Scoop up. We flip tails this time around. So I'm gonna judge, just because it gives him 1 more card than he has right now, and it gave us the option to grab an energy, which we thankfully do get, and we get 2 pretty important cards to prevent my opponent from getting any crazy KOs next turn or in the next turns. Wow, and we hit another DC. So we're gonna win this tournament pretty easily. He finally top decks the DC, so he will be revenged for only 120 damage. I expected it to do a lot more. I can, however, promote Houndoom this time around, and I can simply remove the DCE with my enhanced hammer, and this game will be finished in 2 turns. So I guess to make up for this lousy tournament Friday, because I'm not impressed at all by what just went on, I don't know, I guess I will randomly, I win 3 booster packs, right? So I will randomly, okay, here's what we're going to do. If you're watching this right now, post in the comments down below the country you are from. No matter where you are from, if you speak English, if you speak Spanish, whatever. Just write down the name of the country you are from and the hashtag Tablemon. Just that, your country and Tablemon. I will then on Sunday go through every single comment in the video, and I will choose 3 people and give away booster packs. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Please comment your PTCGO username and your country and use the hashtag Tablemon. 3 words, okay? After you do that, on Sunday I will pick 3 people and I will give away 2 breakthrough booster packs to each of you. Okay? Do we have a deal? Because this definitely was a pretty poor video in terms of opponent's quality. So there you have it. If you stuck through it, if you are watching right now, or even if you scrolled all the way to the end and you are just hearing this, post in the comments below your PTCGO username, your country of origin, and the hashtag Tablemon, and I will pick 3 different people and each of you will get 2 breakthrough booster packs. Alright? That's it for today, guys. That's it for Houndoom week. Next week I promise we will have a much more exciting deck, and I will see you guys on Monday. Alright? Bye bye.